Hello, good morning. So today it will be Arnica Montana. Excuse me. So this is the herb of Arnica Montana. Okay. Common name is leopard's bane, also known as falkraut. In HPI, you have also a common name called mountain tobacco. Okay. Family is Compositae. It's a very big family. Have a lot of families coming up in Compositae. The part used is whole fresh plant, including the root. Okay, you have two sets of sources of drug. It can be whole fresh plant including root. It can be whole fresh plant excluding the root. Okay, so here it comes including the root. Okay, in old method it comes under class 3. Under the new method it has a drug strength of 1/10. Which are the other family members of this thing? You have a lot of injury families. Those are bell esper, calendula. If you go for eye affections, you can go for cineraria, and a little of bleeding remedies like erigeron. Some polycrest like abrotanum, chamomilla, cinna, epitorium also comes here. Alright. In constitution, the person can be explained as male or female, but here it's given as woman. Nervous woman, sanguine, plethoric persons, lively expression and very red face. Okay, so means to say, your sanguine plethoric persons, lively expression and very red face. So sanguine relates to some kind of, something related to blood, and sanguine persons also have a very lively expression. That's what you learn in the temperament, all those things like that. So, okay, and nervousness, why? Because she or he can't tolerate pain. So she is very afraid of pain, or somebody going to touch him or her, or somebody might strike him with, while walking beside this person. So whatever it is. So it's basically that kind of nervousness. Alright. Especially adapted to those who remain long impressed by even slight mechanical injuries. Don't confuse with bovista, which speaks of skin affections after some blunt impressions and all. So here it is adapted to those who remain long impressed by even slight mechanical injuries. Okay, it's pure injury. In bovista, it's more of a skin lesion, particularly urticaria type of lesions. Mental generals, you have it's basically typhoid delirium that you are going to see. Unconsciousness when spoken to answers correctly, but unconsciousness and delirium at once return. Okay, so imagine you are having typhoid and your mother or father comes and checks on you, that whether did you eat or did you sleep nicely. You will be answering that in your sleep, yeah, you will go to sleep again. It's not a normal sleep, it's kind of a delirium here. Alright, attended with fever. And the opposite guy is baptisia, who will be answering the question, but in between answering he'll sleep again. This guy will answer properly and complete the answer and then sleep. Baptisia is like, imagine a robot having a low battery. He'll be answering our question and in between gets, switched off. So that's the condition of baptisia. And also Arnica says there is nothing matter with this person, that I am perfectly fine and I'm alright. Alright. And also you have a feature called agoraphobia, that is a fear of space. Towards the physical generals, sore, lame, bruised feeling all through the body as if beaten, traumatic affections of muscles. So the main center of place is muscles, and the whole body is having this sore, lame, bruised feeling. I said the person is nervous, cannot bear pain, whole body is oversensitive, like Chamomilla, coffea, ignatia. Again, Chamomilla, coffea comes under the triad of pain, and ignatia, we know it's a very nervous, hysterical woman who also have this weird pains and pain in small spots, shifting rapidly. All those things comes here. The last point, everything on which he lies seem too hard. Okay, that's very important. Complains constantly of it and keeps moving from place to place in search of a soft spot. A very, very important description that you can expect in APCT exams, very frequently asked, I guess. And Arnica don't remember, he will be searching this soft spot. Okay, soft spot. That's why this person keeps on turning in bed. Okay, so please remember about Arnica. The other remedy that you need to remember is Baptisia pyrogen, who have parts rested upon feel sore and bruised. Okay, so that description belongs to Baptisia and pyrogen. And another sore lame bruised feeling who can have is Rustox, but this guy will be continually moving so as to obtain relief from pain. Okay, so also you can go read Ruta, which also will show the sore lame bruised feeling. Alright. So I think 5 remedies that you need to remember about sore lame bruised feeling is Arnica, Ruta, Rustox, your Baptisia, pyrogen. Okay, so these things are there. Yeah. Now going ahead, in head you have hydrocephalus along with deathly coldness in forearm of children. If it is seen in diarrhea conditions, you can think of bromium. And in meningitis after mechanical and traumatic injuries. Now again, Arnica, almost everything is related to trauma. Alright, so please remember like that. So somebody have a fall, it's kind of concussion to brain, and it can end up as a, if you have an open injury and all, you can think it can come into a meningitis and all. And why Arnica is important? Because you have fluid buildup, can be a blood or whatever it is, your ECF things and all can come up here, and to facilitate absorption you give Arnica here. Alright. In eye you have this conjunctival and retinal hemorrhage with extravasation from injuries or cough. Okay, so imagine a person has whooping cough. So whooping cough, you have a lot of severe coughing going on, and because of that a person can come up with subconjunctival hemorrhage. Alright, so that kind of feature you can see here. Alright, so other remedies that have the same feature is ledum, again an injury remedy, and also an asphomika. Okay, so conjunctival or retinal hemorrhage from injuries or cough. Now injury is obvious for Arnica. For cough I am giving you a little explanation. You can think like of whooping cough. Alright. See the picture here. I want you to remember why prostate can cause constipation, because even uterus also. The prostate, this is a normal size, the blue color thing. So if gets enlarged, then it can put pressure on the rectum, which will not allow the feces to pass out. Okay, so that can happen in BPH or CA prostate, whatever it is. Wherever the prostate is getting enlarged, prostatomegaly, you can expect constipation. It's not a compulsory thing to happen, but then you can expect it. Okay, so Arnica has that kind of symptom. Also, the normal position of uterus you saw, and now what you're seeing is retroverted uterus, also known as tipped uterus. So if in retroverted uterus, you can expect constipation. Alright, so that's what I want you to remember from these photos. Going to GIT, exactly what I want you to remember is the constipation, rectum loaded with feces. Feces will not come away, and it's described as ribbon-like stools from enlarged prostate or retroverted uterus. Alright. Also you have belching, which is described foul, putrid like rotten eggs, very very bad smell. Alright. And you have dysentery with euphoria. Excuse me. So dysentery with euphoria, fruitless urging, and long intervals between the stools. In female, you have soreness of parts of labor. Again, it prevents or acts like a prophylactic for PPH, postpartum hemorrhage, and puerperal complications. Like opium, it's a very important symptom after labor. The female can come up with incontinence of urine, or she can come up with retention of urine. Both can be dealt with opium as well as your Arnica. Extremities, you have gout and rheumatism. As we discussed before, this person has great fear of being touched or struck by persons coming near him. Cannot walk erect because you have a soreness in the pelvic region. Alright, bruised sort of feeling in the pelvic region, which will not, allow the person to walk erect. And just like again your ledum comes here as cross reference, this person has a ascending rheumatism. So ascending means from down to up. Okay. So the other person of descending rheumatism is calmia. Okay. Please see the CT in front of you. You have a right-sided lesion in the brain. Two focus of hemorrhagic CVA, which causes a left-sided paralysis in this will occur in this patient. Okay, so why this thing? Because Arnica has left-sided paralysis. Please see the last point. Paralysis, left side, pulse full and strong. Also can have this stutter, sighing, muttering, all those things. Okay, but please remember the left-sided paralysis. Okay, now we know there is mechanical injuries, all those things are there. But what is important here? Mechanical injury, the CVA is there, apoplexy is there, loss of consciousness with involuntary evacuation from bowel and bladder. That is very important, and Arnica will control the hemorrhage and it aids absorption. It should be repeated and allowed to act for days. Fever, it's a typhoid fever, and how it is described, it has a heat of upper body and coldness of the lower part. Okay, so head and face can be hot and the body can be cool. Injuries, we know it's basically blunt injuries. Alright, you can even give in fractures and control the separation and all. But basically blunt injuries like symphytum, okay, even if received years before, you can give Arnica. Again, without laceration of soft part. So basically it's a closed wound. There is no open wound that we are talking about. We have a closed wound, and yeah, that happens like that. Alright, and basically it provides this instrument for absorption. Skin, you have tendency for small painful boils one after another, extremely small. We have already discussed in anthracinum the comparison, so we're not going here because we have to complete it. And one important symptom from boric is acne indurata. It's acne indurata characterized by symmetry in distribution. So that's what we say in Arnica. You have a skin lesions which have a right and left symmetry maintained. Alright, and some important points from boric is rheumatism of grief, remorse, or sudden realization of financial loss. So it's kind of a business. Things can come here. Also grief can come here. Abscesses that do not mature. Okay, so that is something very peculiar. And bleeding after every fit of coughing, dark fluid blood. Okay, and we have already discussed the retinal or subconjunctival hemorrhage after coughing. Now here bleeding from nose. It's basically an epistaxis. Alright, yeah, and taste as from bad X in mouth. We have discussed that in Allen's. Cough by weeping or lamenting. It's basically because of the prolonged crying and all, can come up with cough, and due to that all its chest bonds are painful. And stool looks like brown yeast. Okay, so these are some descriptions that you need to know. Modalities: aggravation from rest, we know that, and aggravation lying down from wine also. Okay, in amelioration by contact, because amelioration by contact and by motion. Okay. Relations: complementary to aconite, hypericum, bustox. Yeah, I think everything is normal. Yeah. Ailments from spiritual liquors or charcoal vapors, Arnica is often indicated along with ammonium carb and bovista. The question: wrong pair. Unconsciousness, spoken answers correctly, that's true. Falls asleep in midst of a sentence, Baptist is true. Bad effects resulting from mechanical injuries even received years before, that is not natromsal, that is Arnica. And D is correct, okay, about pyrogen. Constipation, impaired by stool, tough, greasy, it is caustical. and Arnica. Answer is D.